Well, it's March 13th at 7:30 in the morning, and Mama Bee was out getting a snack. She should be back shortly. Well, she just returned and doesn't look like the babies are ready for feeding at this time, so Mama Bee just got her own meal. It's interesting, the hummingbirds can fly in less than a month after hatching. At around 2 weeks old, the baby hummingbirds start exercising their wings and preparing themselves for that initial flight. Once they are ready to fly, they leave the nest, and this process is called fledging. Well, you'll have to stay tuned to see how that process goes. We're about a week and a half into it. I think she's getting the call from below from her babies. We're hungry, we're hungry. So she's probably going to take off pretty soon and get some food for those starving babes. And there she goes. As she returns, you can hear the chirping of those little babies, and they must have been very hungry. In fact, it looks like she's going to spend a fair amount of time feeding them this morning. She must have picked up a lot of nectar. I think, from what I recall, this is the longest feeding period that I have seen, where she continues to go back and forth between the two, giving them food. An amazing process. Just sit and watch it. Nature at its best. Now she'll just snuggle up above them, getting the right position, positioning them so they can stay warm and rest a bit. So how many babies will a hummingbird have? Depending on the species and the habitat, and also the weather, female hummingbirds will have between 1 and 3 broods each year. Each brood will typically have 2 eggs, giving rise to 2 baby hummingbirds called chicks. The mother usually lays her eggs a day apart. Mom can control the timing because she won't fully incubate the eggs until she lays both of them. If you're lucky enough to have a hummingbird build her nest where you can see it, which I was, you can catch a glimpse of her laying her eggs. She'll sit in the nest, shake, and then wiggle every few seconds until her eggs are safely in the nest. These babies are so small. Take a look at that in the palm of the person's hand. One simple breeze and they'll blow away. Here it is 10:30 a.m. and Mama is just coming back from a snack. No feeding this time, just snuggling in with her babies. Well, it's 1:15 in the afternoon. It must be time for lunch. Mama must be going out shopping at the different flowers, getting nectar and some pollen and other goodies. Here she comes. And it's feeding time. Look at those babies eat. Still need to shape that head. The eyes are the big part of that head. And the skull hasn't quite developed. You can see how googly eyes they are. Well, getting that second helping. She is very careful to make sure that she feeds them both evenly so they grow and mature at the same rate. Unlike other birds like chickens or ducks and so on, who are born with feathers, hummingbirds are born naked without any down feathers. Although hummingbird chicks do have a few yellow strands that run down their back. It's only after about 10 days that they grow pin-like feathers that look a bit like hedgehogs or porcupine spines. The hummingbird babies have a dark skin, are blind for about 9 days until their eyes open, and are unable to regulate their body temperature or feed themselves. They are also born with short beaks that look nothing like the long pointed beaks of their parents. Talk about feeling helpless. Mama Bee is out shopping for food again, and here she is returning. Not much room between that nest and the top of that, the bottom of that beam. Now she's waiting. She's kind of egging them on, not feeding them yet, but just looking around. I'm wondering if she's having them develop patience or not. Now, there we go. The feeding process starts. Chickie number 2 now is getting his lunch. Actually, getting his dinner. It's around 6:30 at night, so they're getting their nighttime meal. After she finishes feeding them, she'll then nestle into that nest, keeping them warm again. And there she goes. Well, it's 10:15 in the evening, and Mama Bee is settled in and in her sleep mode, I'm sure, along with the babies. So we'll see you again next time. Bye now.